We're going to hear Jesus say this Sunday that when he looks at the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity. Now, we might be taken aback by that because we think of pity sometimes as something sentimental or even sort of cheap and low and even dirty, but not for God. For God, pity is always filled with reason. And Christ's pity always creates something wondrous. When Jesus looks at the crowd, the translation that we have in our Mass, it says, they were troubled and abandoned. But my favorite commentator on the Gospel of Matthew says, that's not really what it says. More technically, more accurately, literally, it says, they were mangled and cast away. That's how distressed and afflicted these people were that moved the heart of Jesus so much. And he's moved precisely by their being mangled and cast away. He's moved by their nothingness. But you know, Jesus is not the only one. Have you ever run into these artists who are famous for creating sculptures out of junk? They find old can openers and bottle tops and things that have just been discarded, and they create these utterly captivating sculptures out of them. It's fascinating. It's what's called sculpture out of found objects. Well, that's how Jesus looks at us. We're these mangled, found objects, and he wants to make something wondrous out of us. But he's fascinated by what is in front of him even before he fashions it into this new creation. And what he's saying is, the way I look at you in your mangledness and in your being cast away, troubled and abandoned, is the way that you need to look at yourself. We need to have pity on our own nothingness, not to get upset about it, but rather to put it before the gaze of Jesus Christ so that he can transform that. Because hope doesn't come from what we do. Hope comes from someone looking upon us in our nothingness and having pity on that and loving us into a new way of being. That's the promise of Jesus to all of us who are mangled and cast away this weekend.